This week on episode number 191 of the Convincing Idiots podcast. Thank you for tuning in on this Memorial Day. Dean, we have a great episode this week here. Apple has released their top 100 albums of all time. What are in the top 20? Do we agree or not? We're going to talk all about that. A lot of AI stories this week. We'll tell you all about those. And who are the greatest comedy duos of all time? We will share our opinions on this episode. Keep listening, keep watching, and let's start the show.
Well, you guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name is Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And that silence you hear is the lack of millennial. Nicholas, he will unfortunately not able to join us this week. He's getting some hair plugs in his ass, I believe. I believe that's what the text was.
More ass work. That's what it was
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago as well, yeah.
Well, he's really, you got to do a little bit of time. You can't put all that work into the ass right away.
Mhm.
You have to give it, time. It's kind of like a tattoo. You have to let it heal a little bit in order to get more work done.
Yeah. There's sites out there, photos will be for sale. It's not unlike the foot sites you might see out there.
Right.
So once we have more information, we'll pass that along for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, since Nick is out again, Dean, we'll remind everybody then who we are and
Please do.
What we're doing, what can be found, all that good stuff. So we are a podcast of three friends from three different generations talking all things nerd and pop culture each and every week. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We can be found on all major podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, that's right, Spotify, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Amazon Music, etc. Wherever you listen to us, just give us a follow or subscribe. If you're on Apple, give us a rate and review. It helps others find the show. And tell a friend, by the way, as well. So tell a friend how to find us
Tell
and
your
help them
friends.
subscribe.
You greedy
Damn it.
bastards.
That's right. You might be watching us on our YouTube channels. We are on YouTube at Convincing Idiots. We also are on YouTube Music channel where you can watch or listen to us, wherever you prefer. All show information can be found in two main places. Our Linktree page is simply Google Linktree Convincing Idiots, or our website. If you go anywhere, just go there, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. All show information is there, links to new episodes, videos, bios, ways to sponsor the show, our merch store on tpublic.com. Go check that out. And that's it. We appreciate your support out there.
What better than to listen to an idiot, but to wear an idiot?
That's right. That's right. Another rising country in listens, Dean, I've noticed here lately. So we already mentioned our friends in Ukraine last week. Germany continues to be strong, by the way, so thank you to anybody listening to us over there. Canada, United Kingdom, and Argentina has been creeping up.
I've been practicing my languages with all these things. You ready for this?
Sure.
This is for all these new listeners. I think they say it Thank you. That was Canadian. That was
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So if you are listening to it, if you're a new listener, thank you. We appreciate it. We hope we give you a little
you've
bit
been
of
practicing too. Nice.
Yes, that's right. Hope we give you a little bit of entertainment each and every week. So come on back and listen to us, watch us every week, if you would be so inclined. So we appreciate your
If you
support. Like
will.
we said. That's right. That's right. So. How are you, Dean? What's new over the past week, sir?
I'm well. Let's see, what have I been doing? We've been doing a lot of softball and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Carter is doing the baseball thing. Nora's doing the softball thing.
Excellent.
I tell you, we got this video of Nora at the batting cages. Man, she's really put that bat to the balls there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just like her mother, if I hear.
That's right. That's right. The one that went to the game, man, she put it in the air, man. I mean, she's really coming. It's really coming into it there. Yeah, she's really getting good at this.
That's good, man. I'm glad
Having
both kids
fun.
are enjoying that sport and getting out there
Yeah.
and fun. I think it's good. You know, as we've talked about it before. I mean, an activity for a kid, whatever it is, doesn't have to be a sport, but it's just good. Teaches them a lot of teamwork and discipline and practice and camaraderie, and it just gets kids out there to socialize. I think it's great.
I learned all that by smoking cigarettes under the back porch with my friends.
Sure.
Camaraderie,
also a social activity. Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Carter, his team undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not undefeated. They did lose one. They did lose one game.
Yep.
But they made it to the playoffs and had their first playoff game yesterday, and they went ahead and won. So
excellent.
They're going to the championship game.
Next Wednesday, you said, right?
Next Wednesday. Well, yeah. So when you're hearing this, it'll be this coming Wednesday, and yeah, sorry, the cat lunged towards the window and almost went through the screen. I kind of got distracted there.
I don't know if I should tempt fate or not, Dean, and go to the game to try to redeem.
I think you should redeem yourself.
On the jinx. Okay.
By all means. More the merrier. I think it'd be fun to have a big crowd there.
Right.
It's going to be under the lights, so it's it starts at like 7:30.
All right.
Because they want the championship game to be with the big lights on around the field and such. So
that's cool. All right. We'll talk. We'll talk then offline.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good. Congratulations to Carter and his team. That's great.
Absolutely. So what about you?
Let's see here. So last week, we talked a little bit off camera too, but Allie and I, the girlfriend and I, are talking about getting a house. Now, we've been dating now for 5 years now, and her daughter is graduating high school. She's wrapping up high school now. So in a matter of weeks, she'll be graduating and preparing to go to college and everything. So big move. Huge move, man. Yes, indeed. So we've talked to mortgage people and this and that. Now it's just the daunting task of looking for a place and then getting my place ready to move. And I've been in this house for 20 plus years. So you can imagine just the shit that you accumulate in 5 years, let alone 20 plus years, is ridiculous. So I've been slowly working on getting stuff out, goodwill runs, this, that, and the other. So still a lot of work to do, so we're going to spend some time.
Daunting.
It is, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I've told others. I mean, the hard part is trying to find a lovely woman to even want to do that with you, right? So that only took me about 50 years, give or take.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
So it's fine. In the grand timeline of things, 50 years is whatever. But yeah, so
Grand
I'm
timeline.
excited.
Do you plan on living to 238? What?
I mean, in the span of the universe, that's
in the
what
span
I mean.
of the universe. All right.
Yeah, in my
All right.
personal universe, it took a while to find the right person to even want to try to do this with here. So it's great. So at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing.
Found one that was duped easily, so that's good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of chloroform, things like that.
Right.
But we're making it work. We're making it work. So so it's a good thing. So I'll certainly keep everybody posted on our progress. And bless her heart, she's like, well, we got to have at least 3 bedrooms because you need an office to work and you need a podcast area. I'm like, man,
look at that
woman.
Yeah,
this is great, lovely. Does she listen to the podcast? No, but that's okay. I mean, she does support.
You got to give her take.
Support me doing this thing with you guys. So that is
because it's a couple hours. She doesn't have to hear your voice talk.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That makes sense.
That's exactly right. So we did that. So Saturday we talked to a bank and then so that's a lot on our mind. But then we had a lovely evening at Wolf Creek Winery, lovely winery in Norton, Ohio, here in Northeast Ohio. Just a perfect last Saturday evening, man. Was just an absolutely perfect evening. We got a Fat Boys Pizza from over there in Norton and went to the winery, sat there, and just if you're in this area, go over there, check that place out. It's just a great place. You can bring in your own food if you wish, and very good wine, reasonable, a lot of seating areas, lovely views up on top of the hill. So go check out the Wolf Creek Winery. And then Sunday, I had a great afternoon with my beautiful daughter, Peyton. So she suggested we maybe go on a walk. So just her and I went out, and Grandpuppy Callie had a nice walk, went to get some food, sat out on her patio, and just talked. Just she and I. Joey was at an event, and
even better.
Even better. It was just like
even better.
I haven't had some quality one-on-one time with her like that in quite a while. It was just several hours. It was a good 5 hours we were together. So that was just a great
very nice
time with her. So as your kids grow up, man, you don't get those times as often as you want.
And she had all these plans for you guys to do different things and stuff. And then she saw you in a tight T-shirt, and she goes, "Oh, it's calisthenics. That's what we're going to do."
That's right. That's right.
You're going for a walk, old man.
So a great weekend overall. So stressful, but good stress and everything else. So yeah. So, well, over the past week, sir, have you seen or heard anything you wish to recommend?
I did,
reviews, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Age is catching up on these. They just aren't for the ad read. I actually need them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. We sat down and watched. Have you watched Let It Be on Apple Plus? It is the Peter Jackson documentary on the Beatles.
I have not.
What was the one where they showed the rooftop? Remember the old rooftop kind of documentary? Yeah. This is kind of the lead up to it.
Okay.
Peter Jackson got a lot of these old clips of these old documentaries and such and new stuff and put it all together and made a Beatles documentary of coming up onto that rooftop concert.
Nice.
Very good. If you're a fan of the Beatles, a lot of really cool behind the scenes stuff that I'd never seen before. Highly recommended. Apple Plus TV. Okay. And then after that, we watched If These Walls Could Sing, 90 Years of Abbey Road. So yes, it does. There's a good chunk on the Beatles, but it kind of gives you the history of Abbey Road Studios, the origins of it, and then it kind of interviews a lot of different acts who have done, who have recorded there. Even up until most recently, I think it was P. Diddy and John Legend did a music video there. in one of the studio halls. Very cool. If you're a fan of music in general, kind of like I suggested last week with the Robert Johnson documentary, this one's very cool. A lot of cool behind the scenes, a lot of good interviews with people. A lot of things you didn't know that, it's one of those things where like, I didn't know that. Well, I don't even know if I even needed to know that, but it is very cool to hear all that sort of thing. So yeah, if these walls could sing, 90 years of Abbey Road. And then today, just before we started, we watched Unfrosted. Finally got to the Jerry Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie. It was funny. Yeah, okay. It was like a giant skit. You know what I mean? It wasn't a traditional movie. It was very slapsticky, very funny. I laughed out loud quite a few times. So Megan enjoyed it, she said, quite a bit. So I definitely recommend that if you're a fan of kind of goofy, silly comedy. You know, the history isn't probably exactly. I mean, it is very, very loosely based on the history.
Yes.
Like I said before, the History Channel does this food every Sunday. I think they changed it now, but it's like the foods that build America.
Mm-hmm.
Each week they do different brands, and one of them they gave the history of the Pop-Tart. So I'd seen that before. So I was of the understanding of what that actual history was. So yeah, there's a few things, a lot of good, cool cameos that be a little surprised at. It was a lot of fun. So definitely recommend that. So that's all I've seen.
Excellent. I've been watching some NBA basketball actually. This playoffs here. They're getting into the finals. So there's some good games in the Eastern and Western conferences lately in the NBA. And I'm like, something that I've been meaning to watch, that I worked through it this week. Once I started watching it, I just went ahead and worked through it over the last few days here. Griselda. So this is on Netflix here. This is Sofia Vergara. She is a producer here and stars as Griselda. It was an actual woman.
Okay.
And she was a drug lord, basically. She was a Colombian businesswoman. Griselda Blanco was her name. Good. I mean, it was decent. I mean, it was like six to 8 episodes, something like that. Yeah, if you like that type of storyline, I mean, but again, it's based on a true story. Interesting. She was a former spouse of another, guy, a drug lord or something like that, and they split up, and then she decided she was going to come to America and try to build her own ring, basically, and it just really gives you sort of a glimpse of, I mean, how dangerous, of course, that world is, and she was a mom trying to raise her sons in this world and everything. So, just interesting. It just. She's definitely known as more of a comedic actress of what we're used to, like in Modern Family, and then America's Got Talent as a host and all that as a judge. So kind of a different role for her. There's some subtitles. I mean, some of it is spoken in Spanish, as you might imagine, but she's good. I mean, she's definitely a very sound actress, in my opinion. So if you like her. If you like, that type of like dangerous story about the drug lords and this and that and the other, I think you'll find it interesting. So you can check that out on Netflix. So that's about it, really. I mean, I'm working through X-Men '97 a little bit more, trying to finish that up, but I'll talk more about that when I finish. But that's it, really. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're going to do some...
Yep, I got this cat I got to deal with.
Very good. We're going to do some jumping jacks or something like that.
Yep.
And then we're going to come back with some pop culture headlines and our Ask an Idiot segment after the break.
After the break. Four, three...
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment 2. We did some squat thrusts at the break.
Yep.
Yeah. Tone down a little bit, get ourselves ready for segment 2. As I take another drink of beer.
Well, you guys should be lucky, especially you guys watching on YouTube, that the tickets to this gun show are free. So
That's right. That's right. That's
it
right.
is. You take that for all it's worth.
We need a vet because these puppies are sick. Thank you very much. Yes, that's right.
There we go.
Dean, making some music, pop culture
Beautiful
news here.
music.
Yes.
All right, let's hear it.
Now,
We got-
you don't have an Apple Music subscription at this. You were looking at different streaming options for music. Is that right?
I was. I have Pandora. I use Pandora right now, but you always kind of look around, see if there's anything better, whatnot.
Sure. Apple has just released, and there's playlists on its streaming service. It's all gimmicky. It's designed to create conversation, etc. But their list of 100 best albums of all time. So there's a list out there, and if you have Apple Music, you can access the list. You can listen to the individual albums. You can do playlists and different things. So interesting. So I'm going to give you the top 20. And I'm interested if any jump out at you, agree, disagree, or
Is
what did I
this
say?
albums or songs?
Albums. 100 greatest albums.
Can I take a quick stab at it?
At what? Which one? Number one?
I'm going to go. What are you about to read? Your top 20?
Top 20.
All right. I'm going to go number 17. All right. Number 17 is the theme song to Convincing Idiots, done by Mr. Aaron Blake with Blake Insurance. Was I right? Well,
No, but that's okay.
Well, let me explain to you why I should be right. Because Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Let me tell you, Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit Blake Insurance, LLC for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, you tell that musically gifted, handsome fella that the idiots sent you.
Excellent. I think our theme was in the top 4 million songs.
So close.
Of small podcast themes, something
So
like that.
close.
So yes. So number 20.
Number 20.
The Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Okay, that's a little higher than I would have thought,
Yeah.
but all right.
Number 19, Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Okay, yeah.
18, Taylor Swift, of course, had to make some of the top. 1989, Taylor's version.
Okay, not familiar, but
Nope.
I mean, I
Number
know she is a music artist,
Of course.
but I've never heard the album.
Some of these, it does make me want to go and listen to some of these that I've never would have thought to listen to,
Okay,
before, certainly. Number 17, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
yeah.
Number
Get my fuck
16,
on.
that's right,
That's what's
Joni
going on.
Mitchell, that's it. Joni Mitchell, Blue.
I don't know if I know Joni Mitchell. I'm not sure if I know that album.
Number 15, Adele, 21.
Okay,
Number 14, Bob
it
Dylan.
seems like it was really made to be the number one, to be the 21 spot, but whatever.
It's a missed opportunity. You're right.
Yeah.
Highway 61 Revisited, number 14 by Bob Dylan.
Yep. Okay.
Number 13, Jay-Z, The Blueprint.
All right.
Number 12, Radiohead, OK Computer.
Yep.
Number 11, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors.
Sure. Okay.
Great album.
Now, top 10 here.
Top 10.
Top 10 albums. Let's see here. I know you're gonna have. Is it all right? At least tell me this: is it the majority classic stuff with a couple newer stuff?
Not necessarily.
Huh. Okay. All right. Number 10.
Beyonce, Lemonade.
All right.
Number 9, Nevermind, Nirvana.
Okay, I like that.
Number 8, Back to Black, Amy Winehouse.
Sure. Okay.
Number 7, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City Deluxe Version.
I would have put that, in top 3, but that's just me.
Number 6, Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming.
Number 5,
because he's blind. Get it?
There you go. You don't get good quality humor like this in Argentina, ladies and gentlemen.
And also without Nick, you're busy like reading and like letting us know, the information. So I don't have anybody to pop the jokes off to. I have to stop you and explain it.
Yeah. Well, that helps. Let's see. Number 5, Frank Ocean, Blonde.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Number 4, Prince and the Revolution, Purple Rain.
Yep. That makes total sense.
Yep. Number 3, Abbey Road, the Beatles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Michael Jackson, Thriller.
Okay. If Thriller is, because I honestly was going to guess number 2 or number 1 was Thriller. If Michael Jackson's Thriller is number 2, what the hell would you put as number 1? Jesus. I couldn't even guess. You put Abbey Road and Thriller 3 and 2. What's number 1?
The number 1 album of all time, according to Apple Music. Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Okay. I don't agree with this. You could even put her at number 3 and I would be okay with it. But number 1 and 2 should be Thriller and Abbey Road. And at this point, musical taste tells you could switch, those 2 spots with them. But
sure.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
It is interesting, and to go back and read the list here, it really is quite the variety. There are certainly newer and classic artists in here. I mean, from like a classic, rock and metal. They definitely have some things in here. The Master of Puppets is in here.
Did Ray Stevens make the list anywhere? No. Okay.
He should have. Goddamn it! But
top 5.
The man wrote The Streak.
Right.
A top 40 hit in the 70s. Absolutely. Yep.
That'd be a top 40 hit in any decade.
That's right. Yeah. So just, like number 99 was Hotel California by the Eagles. So again, it depends on your musical taste
and interest. It is all subjective, right?
It is. And you know what? It's doing exactly what they wanted to do. We're talking about it. That's right. People are talking about it. And people probably listen to it. It gets more streams on Apple Music. Helps these artists out, right? Because some people might be listening to their albums that may not have listened before. And maybe somebody subscribes to Apple because of the conversation and the buzz and everything else.
Did you read all 99 of these or all 100 of these?
I did not read them all thoroughly, no. Go ahead.
So you don't know if any of Weird Al Yankovic is on there, because that's another travesty.
Yes, I did not see Weird Al, unfortunately. Did not see Weird Al. Nope.
Bullshit, I tell you.
Yep. 9 Inch Nails made it from Cleveland.
Sure.
Yeah. It is not a bad list. There's a lot of classic musicians on here, and then the newer people. I don't know all their stuff like I should, but I'm familiar at least with a lot of the artist names, being an older person. So I mean, it's good. Like I said, it motivates me to go in and start listening to some of these here that I may not have thought to listen before. Why not?
You got pen and paper?
Work through it. Do I? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Whatever. Have we done the topic of our Mount Rushmore of albums?
I don't think we have.
This makes me want to delve into this.
I like it. Yeah, we'll add that to our list. Absolutely. So that's it. So we're interested what is your? Well, we want to do it right now. We'll save it for a future episode.
Yep.
So, but we're interested out there. If you out there agree with this list, is it anywhere near? Let us know on our social media, or you can email us at convincingidiots@gmail.com. So that's it. Yeah, just interesting stuff. A lot of AI news. Not surprising. It's more and more a popular topic. Sorry, I just lost my place here. I'm going to span back to the top.
Is this the idiot question of the week?
Not yet. We're not quite there yet.
We're not there yet. All right.
Yeah, there's a couple things here. So on Variety.com, Bob Iger was talking about so Bob Iger of we know him as the head of Disney, the Disney CEO.
Yep. So
he has invested in a AI company, Canva. So it was the Canva Creates Showcase event at SoFi Stadium in Highland Park. He spoke about this recently. So Canva has emerged over the past decade as a digital media star. It says the company was valued at $40 billion in 2022 when Iger took an undisclosed stake. So, interestingly enough, he's saying, "Hey, listen, everybody," in so many words. Some people are afraid of this technology, that it's going to cut into human jobs and human creativity and all that. He's trying to say that, you can't fight technology, basically. It's just going to continue to evolve. You have to embrace it, and this technology can help driven and creative people, basically be even that much more creative in so many words. So this is a quote from him. You're never going to get in the way of it. There isn't a generation of human beings that has ever been able to stand in the way of technological advancement. What we try to do, that's right. What we try to do is embrace the change that technology has created and use it as the wind behind our backs instead of wind in our faces. So,
original goddamn Bette Midler there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's of course invested in this company, right? So,
right.
It just smells very much like, listen, I'm making money off of this thing. I run Disney, and we're going to look for ways to use this type of technology.
Disney, you don't.
That's right. Use this technology to, create. Who knows? So I don't know. What are your opinions? Do you agree with his opinions? Do you just see it continuing to cut into, jobs of people that are trying to create movies and shows? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt jobs. I mean, that's what technology does. When you got less farming, less people had to do farming when they created the big tractors that did whatever. Mm-hmm. Factories with the robotic arms. Not enough cash register cashiers, I guess is the fucking word I'm looking for, when you have to do stuff checkout. So it's not just like this AI computer robots coming in and it's surprising. No, it's been a slow rollout for the past 100 years. It's just the progression. You just, like he said, you just kind of have to deal with it and hope that you could control it a little bit.
Right.
We've just got to figure out more jobs. I don't know. It's not an easy solution. I understand both parts of it, both sides of it. I don't know how you get to the middle.
Yeah, you're right. These companies are going to continue to look for ways, not just AI necessarily, but you could certainly expand that out to, as you're saying, automation. And a combination of automation and robotics and AI. I mean, it's just going to continue to evolve. You're right. It's as you wonder what the future may look like for the middle class. Middle class people, lower to middle class folks that are just out there trying to find a job that they could perform with their skills. So in some respects, I guess people have to raise their abilities in some to make it. I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting. But you see a guy like, again, it's right there in the open. Like I said, I invested in this company. I want to continue to, support it and advance it because it puts a lot of cash in my pocket personally. I don't know, man. It's crazy. This is not AI certainly, but it's along the same line of like things replacing people. Mom and I tonight went to the fucking Taco Bell.
Yep.
Taco Bell. Walked inside. You cannot go to the fucking counter, at least the one we were at,
anymore.
and ask and order food. You had to order from the kiosk and pay for it. They'd make the food and then tell you it's ready. So I have to assume that means at that particular location, at the very least, then that's less people.
Cashier. Yep.
That's right. That's probably one less employee at least. They don't have to pay to stand there and take your order and do that in a rotation or however they work it there.
I go to the gas station and you have that little computer thing you have to set the items down and it kind of takes the picture and it knows what.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I actually don't use that because I get the refill. I have my travel mug that I use every day. So I get a refill. So I make the person have to come back around they're not really taking jobs from people because the people's still there. They just don't want to come over. And then they kind of get annoyed when they have to come over and type in that I got a fucking refill.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of enjoy doing that. But yeah, that's an example that it's not perfect yet. I mean, and they're going to figure out a way to do the refill thing and get it completely automated. At a certain point, you're going to have the only person in those kind of stores are going to be quasi security guards or shelf stalkers.
Sure. Yeah, I told Mom it would not surprise me someday, in a place like Taco Bell or something like that. You walk in there, you do the order on the kiosk, right? And there's maybe one human in there to mind the store, like you say, and there's robots and things that are preparing the items. Yeah. It's some type of thing where it's just preparing that could be AI or something like that. You're ordering this type of thing. Guarantee they're looking at it. There's no question about that. There's that they're looking at those opportunities, whether it be cooking burgers.
I mean, it's Taco Bell. You're not going to be able to create some sort of like AI shit that you're going to take in the bathroom later.
That's right.
That one's going to be real every time.
That's right. Yep. It's coming. I don't know. But embrace it.
Embrace it.
Like Bob Iger.
Embrace your computer overlords, people.
That's right. We continue to look for ways again to replace one of us with AI.
God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yep, that's right. Okay, more AI stuff. So the movie Scarlett Johansson started a movie called Her. You might remember a few years ago. It was very. It was a good movie. She starred as the voice of a AI intelligence, like an assistant. Thing. Wasn't it Joaquin Phoenix?
No, that was where he has the real doll or whatnot.
Okay.
You mixed up that movie.
Okay, but the premise was there was a guy. I guess we could look it up here.
I got you.
You got it? Okay. There was a guy basically that was a lonely guy, and he fell in love with his virtual assistant there, and it was the voice of Scarlett Johansson, right? there's a company, so ChatGPT, the AI chatbot company.
Oh, you're right.
Wasn't it him? Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking of that Scarlett Johansson movie where she became like it physically. She was like that super smart thing, and she ended up. Spoiler alert! It doesn't matter because I don't remember the goddamn name of the movie. But at the end, she kind of Lucy. Lucy was the name of the movie.
Okay.
I was thinking that.
Okay.
Because she was kind of being downloaded all this information to be the smartest person ever, or whatever she was.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I thought you were talking about. My bad, but you are right. Yeah, her was Joaquin Phoenix, and she was the voice. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so he had a headset in, and he would go around. He could talk to her, stuff like that. All stuff at the time that was developing technology, and now all that is practically here. As a matter of fact, I saw a thing dealing with the Amazon app. I don't want to say the names I have her over here up to the side here, but your virtual assistant from Amazon, they're developing that more AI technology as well, so you have more of a conversation with it, that type of thing. So that'll be coming soon. So it continues to develop.
Just one house. It's going to be the goddamn Jetsons before we know it. You're going to have the real doll that you can fuck at night.
Sure.
She'll be able to tell you what you want to do and feel, and she'll know exactly what gets you going.
Sure.
Could have cooked you dinner. It's be like Kit or Jarvis. Like she's going to be throughout the house, so she's going to be. It's not just the bedroom. That's just the place that she's going to turn on when you're in there. You're in the kitchen. She's going to be in there. When you're she'll be behind your TV. Yada yada. It's going to be everywhere. This is the future, people.
That's right. So ChatGPT is developing an assistant like that as well, and the voice of this assistant sounded a little bit too much like Scarlett Johansson, so she sued the company to basically stop them from using her likeness. Now, she's claiming that it sounds too much like her, and also the company did approach her to ask if she was interested to voice this thing, and she refused.
Sure.
Then the thing comes out, and it sounds a little bit too much like her, so she, submitted sort of took legal action basically, and the company has paused the app for the time being. Now the company says it's OpenAI, so they responded basically and said it's not her voice, that it's a voice actress that we've used, that we already had in progress before we approached Ms. Johansson to do it. All right. So who knows? But at the time, though, it has been paused, and the SAG-AFTRA, the union has applauded, Scarlett for for stopping them, basically. So that's very interesting.
Well, I know you have the question of the week, but can I do an impromptu one?
Sure, go ahead.
Brian, if you could have your whole house AI, like I described, she's in the bedroom, it's going to do whatnot, she's going to cook, she's going to clean, she's going to be the fucking Roomba. She does it all. Whose voice are you using?
That is a good question.
Because it's got to be affirming. It's got to be something you live with. This voice is going to be your life, right? But it's also going to be in the bedroom. You're gonna pick B from Aunt B from Andy Griffith's show. That's not something you probably want to go into the bedroom with. I've got my answer.
Marge Simpson.
Marge, Jesus. Oh, Brian, just like that. Actually, I think I just turned into Edith Bunker, if I'm not mistaken.
Who was that lady, the older lady on Night Court? What was her name?
Oh, which one? There was Selma. Selma was the smoker.
That's it. Yeah, maybe Selma.
See, I'm going Emily Blunt.
That's a nice voice.
You got the nice
The English
British
accent.
It's soothing, it's sexy. So you want to cook in your eggs and then toasting your biscuit later. Getting the whole deal.
Sofia Vergara is not bad either. I like the accent.
You
there,
like
too.
the accent? Yeah,
I do.
Something about a good accent. I
do
agree.
like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be a nice, Scarlett Johansson. That's a fine choice.
That's another one. She got this slightly smoky voice to her.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say mine's either Emily Blunt or John C. Reilly. One of those two.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Jen would be a nice one too. The lovely Jen, Nick's mom, would be a nice voice.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That wins for both of us, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, that's a compliment. Okay, so go ahead.
Can you imagine her saying, "Bend over, I'm about to peg you"? That's the life there, baby. That's the life.
Yeah, but it'd be soothing as well. You just set it to wake me up gently. So it'd be like, wake up, sweetheart, wake up. That type of thing. It'd be very nice.
Take a deep breath. Just accept it, dear.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. All right.
We're going
That's a good
second
question.
knuckle.
Like
Get ready.
So along the same line.
Same lines, yeah.
Right. So this is getting now to our Ask an Idiot question. Although that was a very good one. So AI chatbots, Dean, are becoming more and more popular. So these are different apps out there where you can create an AI persona and chat with it, right? So you can create an AI picture, and you can have different types of quote unquote friends that you interact with. You could have like a mentor, you could have somebody, and you could sort of, I guess, even develop it to where it's just more of a friend, it's just more of a, motivational person I'm going to exercise with, like a trainer type person. Is this more of a friend? Is it more of a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something like that? So there's a lot more of these out there that you can just set up for free. And now some of these, I guess, to pay for other features and this and that. But you sit there, chat with it. You're not talking to it physically, but it's like
pay
chatting.
To fuck that one.
Sure, that'll be big time. But you could text it and interact and that type of thing. So these are becoming more popular out there, and some people are saying, in some respects, it's a good thing because it can combat loneliness with people that just may not have someone out there. Others are saying, well, it's just another thing that's creating more recluses. It's people that are interacting with this technology, not seeking to try to interact with actual people. Okay. And that in itself is going to create more loneliness and create people who are not able to, or is not as freely able to, or comfortable going out and meeting people and trying to create actual human relationships. So there's studies on this, and there's some stories out there in social media and the news on these chatbots lately here. So that's our Ask an Idiot question of the week. So what do you think? So do you think that these chatbots can be good, or do you think it's more of a risk in that very thing, creating more separation of people and encouraging people to just deal with interact with these chatbots and not maintain or develop new friendships or relationships?
Okay, ready for this?
Yep.
Let me start with what you'd said about people saying that it would create this, people saying it would create that. My opinion is people should shut the fuck up and mind your own business.
Sure.
Have you been out in public? It's not good. If somebody wants to stay in their house, not bother anybody, and live with a dog, or live with an AI, or live with a stuffed porcupine, it doesn't matter. Leave them the fuck alone and let them do it. They're not hurting you. Mind your own goddamn business. if it makes somebody's life a little bit better for whatever thing that they're living with, if it's a goddamn sex doll, and now it can talk to them and give them a little bit of comfort because they still don't want to come out of the house and deal with your shit, leave them the fuck alone. Mind your own business. What about all these asshats who are out there shooting up everybody and people and everything? Do you think maybe if they had something like this, maybe they wouldn't be so goddamn angry? So is it a good thing? You're damn right it's a good thing. And everybody who's complaining that it's going to take down society, fucking go create your own society, you know-it-all cunt. What about you, Brian? What do you think?
You know, you raise a good point. I think it could be. I think it could potentially do some harm, you know, for younger people, especially where, you know, and again, it's hard to compare because it's different worlds, it's different things. So, you know, certainly in our generation, if you wanted to talk with people, that's what you had to do. You had to go out and meet people just anywhere. I mean, you had to have the courage to start talking with people out and about. I recall in my time, we would literally drive around in a car with the hope to meet people. And did we? Yes.
Didn't they do that documentary about you and your friends at American Graffiti? Was that the documentary?
Sure.
Okay.
Drag racing, you know, the cliff and all that stuff, you know, rolling up the cigarettes in the sleeve and shit like that. Yeah.
Part of the greasers, I think.
But that's what we had to do, you know, and at the time I had a lot of confidence because it was, again, there was no other way to do it. Now, over time, mine has regressed some, I think partially because
you're super old.
Well, maybe that, but just, you know, you don't have to interact with people face to face and all that with like dating apps and that type of thing. So I don't know. So there's certainly something to it where I would worry that, you know, a young person maybe doesn't develop those skills that might be necessary to achieve some success in life. You have to be able to.
Two of those things, though, Brian.
Go ahead.
Two of those things. The first thing you said there, to whatever, have your skills and stuff. Who are we to determine what other people should be doing?
Well, that's a valid point.
I mean,
that's a valid point.
If they're not hurting anybody, why do we care what other people are doing? And you'd said earlier in this episode, Brian, that you made the joke about the partial timeline of your life compared to the universe, right? Take that same principle with the amount of people on the earth now. Back when you were young, there were millions of people. Now there's billions of people. Why do we have to box everybody into everybody else's idea of what conforming society is? Why do we have to tell everybody exactly where the uniform is? I thought that's what the society we're all quote unquote working towards is to be your own people, but be our people, your own people.
I mean, you raise a good point. I mean, that's certainly the other side of it. Sure, like if it brings somebody some comfort, and it's for some people, you can argue the other direction as well, where they're not contacting anybody or anything. They just don't have anybody. They don't feel, but now there's at least something.
There's somebody there now.
That they can chat with that's friendly, who's not asking anything of them. It's just simply like a friend. And maybe that in itself develops some skill that they didn't have before and makes them more comfortable to maybe take the next step to, if they wish, to start to meet some friends and they feel more comfortable. Like, I can do this. I'm kind of used to, and, so maybe that's good. Some good there too. But at the end of the day, if it's not bothering anybody, who cares? You're right. Go ahead.
Did you hear about the quote unquote lonely old man who died alone in his house? Motherfucker was smiling when it happened. Why?
Sure.
I don't understand why we force. We think we're doing a good job. I get that people are, when they say that, I understand that they think they're doing well. But you're not in that person's life. You're not in every individual person's life. There's a lot of people who just don't want to be around other people. Why do they have to be your socially acceptable?
Sure.
We go out of our way to accept people for their sexuality, for their gender specification, and all of that wokeness. But yet we will force people to come out and talk to other people and not have this computer friend because it will ruin you socially. Maybe you don't want to be social.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it's good. It's good. Makes a lot of sense.
So when somebody tells, we spend too much time on your phones as a society. Yeah, because it's more entertaining than talking to your stupid ass. Mind your own business. You know why I'm on my phone? Because it's fun. You know why I'm not talking to you? Because you're not, you dolt.
Yeah, step it up, people. Make people want to have a conversation. Are you a great? Are you so great in conversation that you could be? You should replace AI. I don't know.
Right. I'd be at my. I remember when I was married, I would be at my ex mother-in-law's house, and she would complain that they're on their phones and not interacting. Have you talked to you? It's not fun. You're not in this phone. You're out here.
Right.
I'm going in here.
Right. That I will say I'm trying to work on personally. Right. So if I'm in a group setting or with somebody, I'm keeping the phone. That's different.
And that's fine. That's a personal thing. But
right.
I shouldn't tell you not to do that. I shouldn't go, Brian.
Be in the moment.
Yeah, be in the moment. Could you talk to us? No. Maybe what I'm saying does not interest you.
Yeah, step it up, man. Yeah.
Maybe if I was a better conversationist or a better human being, you'd want to do that. You'd want to talk to me over the phone. But I'm not, so do what you want.
Sure.
If it's something important, I'll tap you on your head. I'm going to tap you on the head also when I'm about to do. Anyways, what did that answer the?
No, that's it.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
So good conversation, and we're interested to hear what you guys think out there. So are chatbots ruining society in some respects, or are they helping, or does it really matter as long as it brings some people some comfort and they're not bothering anybody?
That's key.
Mind your own fucking business, like you said.
Mind your own fucking business. And that goes with everything, people. Just when it comes down to it, any of these questions about society we have, it definitely comes down to mind your own fucking business.
That's right.
For example, it just comes to mind, there was like a famous director who said that Marvel movies aren't real movies, that they're just whatever he said. He was shitting on Marvel movies. How about you make your own little fucking wonderful film and not shit on what other people like? Comes down to mind your own goddamn business.
That's right.
That's really what life is. If you want to know the secret to life, I know the fucking secret to life. Mind your own goddamn business.
Sure. The quote I was reminded of recently was, I think it was Dr. Phil said it. It was something along the lines of, never underestimate the opportunity to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
very good.
Absolutely.
It's very good advice. Very good advice. Well, dude, some people think,
and that's fun that it's coming from two guys who choose to post their conversation throughout the fucking world.
That's all right, we like this. Right. We're not. This is enjoyment. This is a way to keep connected. We enjoy interacting with, and we're together. We're not talking all the time. I mean, shit. I think probably when we're together, we probably talk less.
Right.
It's just a comfort to be in the same location.
We
and
just
don't
hold
feel
each other when we're together.
That's right. I get that something. You're so quiet. I'm like, because I'm here, comfortable with you, and I'm observing. You don't need to fucking talk all the time. Just relax. Right. Anyway.
Yeah. And as far as the podcast goes, like you said, the majority of this we do it for us.
Sure.
We don't paid for this shit. It's free.
Right.
Not many people listen in general, but if they do and they enjoy it, cool.
That's right.
That's up to them to decide.
That's right.
I'm never going to tell everybody you need to listen to this. Would I like you to? Yeah. And then once you do it, if you just think it's not my thing, I totally get it. I've heard me. I understand.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, we only charge $5 an episode to listen in Brazil. That's it. Everywhere else is
and don't get them wrong, people in Brazil. We're not charging you. You have to pay us $5, and we'll do this podcast in Brazil. Our Spanish, is that the Spanish? It isn't great, but we will speak Brazilian for you.
Yep, come at you live from the bottom of the Jesus statue in Rio de Janeiro, ladies and gentlemen.
You're thinking we're going to go there? Yeah, it might take us more than $5 to get us there, but it would be fantastic. We'll do a live show in Brazil.
Absolutely, that's right. Yep,
Carnival.
Sure.
All right.
It'd be fantastic. I like it. All right. So, some people do think that, electronic devices, technology is hurting society, right? Our sponsor, though, happens to think that electric devices enhances society. It enhances the shit out of a bicycle. So, just the normal, what do you want to pedal? I mean, come on.
Who needs that horse shit?
Pedaling is like, that's so 1980s. You know what I'm saying?
Suckers, that's what it's for.
That's exactly right. So if you would like to advance your bicycle technology, maybe right away from humans, that sounds fine. Go check out our sponsor at RPM Bike Shop, located in historic Carrollton, Ohio, the birthplace of chatbots. You don't even know that, really. It's yeah. So it's little known fact. One is running a small.
You are the stat man, so.
Yeah, one is running a small ice cream stand down there. It's
wow. All right.
Yeah, it's little known secret. Ride your electric bike down there and check it out. So you can find them on Facebook. Find their website out there, or just give them a call at 330-808-7792 and tell them that you would like to advance your bicycle technology as heard on the Convincing Idiots podcast.
Tell them the idiot bots sent you.
That's it. Okay, well, this evening we happen to be a duo. Some might rank us in some of the best comedy duos of all time, maybe.
From this individual 191 episode podcast alone, that's probably what people think.
That's right. Only took 190 episodes to get here. Yep. That's okay. That's all right. We are here, and we're going to talk about comedy duos. And Dean will tell you all about that in our main segment coming at you after the break.
See my new ring?
Here's music and fun for you and riotous romance in a comedy frothy as champagne, potent as moonlight. Lavishly produced, One Night in the Tropics brings you sparkling entertainment by 9 top talent stars. Alan Jones, Nancy Kelly, radio's prize nitwits in their first screen appearance, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
I'm a bad boy.
Robert Cummings, comedians Mary Boland, Leo Carrillo, William Frawley, and pretty Peggy Moran in a musical gay with melody, maids, and merriment.
It's wonderful how you hold your drinks.
Oh, liquor never affects me. 5 minutes of 4. Where is that guy?
Maybe he's over my hotel suit.
Not your suit. You're sweet.
You're cute too, Abbott. I like you.
Hey there, Mom.
You know how it is.
Three, two.
We're back from commercial break. Convincing Idiots, segment 3, episode 191. Brian and I here celebrating and commemorating Memorial Day 2024. If you're listening on the Monday that this drops, we definitely want to thank everyone who's served, past, present, future, and remember the ones who did not, unfortunately, make it home, that gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country. Definitely want to mention that.
Absolutely.
There's no proper segue from that event, Brian, so this awkwardness will be my segue. Now, starting back in, like, I'd say vaudeville, stage shows, up in throughout silent films, into TV, into modern day streaming, you have seen comedy duos on every ounce of entertainment. Every place that there was comedy, you had two people that gelled so well that they become iconic, that they transcend comedy, time, and space. That might be a little much, but what it does is brings us to our Mount Rushmore of comedy duos. Brian, these can be from screen, film, wherever. It is your personal Mount Rushmore of comedy duos. Who do you have on your list as number one?
I'll give you one here. Mine's like in no particular order.
Yep, mine either.
Okay, very good. From classic 1970s Saturday Night Live. Now, this duo, I don't know if they met prior, and they were on the show for several years and made a few films together, and introduced one of my favorite duo SNL characters of all time, the Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, make my list here. These guys just on the show, and certainly as the characters Jake and Elwood Blues, just worked so well together. They were great friends off screen, certainly, and such a tragedy we lost John Belushi so early. It would have been interesting to see what they could have done together.
Yeah, they would have spent their whole life together.
They would have.
Making magic.
Absolutely, and very possible that John Belushi would have been in Ghostbusters versus Bill Murray, who was the original thought to play that character. But anyway, just those two work well together, and the Blues Brothers is one of my favorite comedy movies of all time. There you go.
I like that.
Start there. Sure.
Good first pick. I'm going to start. I'm going to start modern.
Sure.
This duo, they were on Mad TV together, and then they ended up getting their own show on Comedy Central, sketch comedy show. I'm going with Key and Peele.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely.
The show didn't last, super long, like maybe a Saturday Night Live or whatnot. But the cultural impact that those two had is immense. To this day, it is one of those, like Chappelle shows, that people quote on a daily basis, given certain situations. It's one of those shows that you can just pull up and have in the background. You're going to laugh your ass off. Very entertaining, and those two together are magic. So I'm starting out with Key and Peele.
Very good. Excellent. Now, as a kid, There's certainly a lot of classic duos. I'm sure some will be on our list there as well. But one of the earliest duos that I recall watching in movies, which I probably shouldn't have seen, didn't really understand the humor at the time, but it was on cable and it was funny. Why was it funny? I wasn't exactly sure, but I could get the gist of it. Cheech and Chong, Dean. So, certainly all the movies they had back in the 70s were on cable as a kid. As I got a little older, certainly you understood fully what was going on there. But those guys, even now, they're still doing things together.
Yeah, they're back on
bits.
stage. Yeah, they broke up for a bit. When throughout the probably late 80s, throughout the 90s, they were estranged from each other. But they became older guys, and but let bygones be bygones. Now they do stage shows together and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, those guys just work super well together. They seem like they genuinely like each other, like they're genuinely good friends. And the whole marijuana, culture and getting high and everything. Certainly now
it's legal, so,
more prevalent than ever, probably. But movies are goofy and everything. But just again, it's just their play off each other was just fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2. I'm going to go back in the Wayback Machine. I'm going to. They again started in vaudeville. Worked their way up through different movies. They even encountered some, a Mummy, Dracula,
all of them,
Frankenstein, all of them. Abbott and Costello is my number 2 pick. Since I was a kid, I've always been a huge fan of black and white comedy, the old vaudeville show, stemming from vaudeville show, I should say. Three Stooges again. They're 3, so I can't put them on the list. There's not very many, triple threat groups. So I'm at least going to give them a sneaky honorable mention right now. But yeah, Abbott and Costello, from when I was a kid watching the quote unquote monster movies on Saturday mornings. And even, I think I learned about it. Probably the most people learn about them is Who's on First.
Yes.
Bit that they did that has become iconic. Other people's done it. Copied them or paid homage to them, should I say? But yeah, Abbott and Costello has always been one of my favorites.
Very good. That bit there, arguably from a comedy bit, one of the most recognizable of all time. If you say Who's on First, you probably know, you've heard of it. You kind of get an idea of what it was. Yeah, just as that bit has transcended for years and years and years.
And a lot of people has tried, but they have redone it and done the bit for whatever shows.
Right.
But the timing that those two had.
Yeah.
The chemistry that they had in their reactions to each other, it's unmatched.
Yes, very good, excellent. I'm going to give you these are 2 older gentlemen that kind of found their way to each other over the years, and to 2 of them together, not in their own individual rights, probably on your list too, Dean, but in their own individual rights, fantastic. Yes, both. Fantastic comedy geniuses, stand up and shows and whatnot. And together they're on Only Murders in the Building, Dean. So Steve Martin and Martin Short, of course, they do tours together and everything else. But the 2 of them, I know we love that show, and there's a 4th season that's coming out. I have to imagine
filming it now.
Yeah, that's going to be on probably for a minute. I really enjoy that. So
they said they're willing to go on forever.
Sure, that's another one. It seems like they genuinely like each other. They're genuine friends, and they just play so well together. Yeah, just fantastic. And they both can have their straight man, funny man type of stuff. Martin Short is really the comedic portion of that there, and Steve Martin is
Right.
more of the straight man in that role. But great. It just works so
But
well together.
the way it works, I mean, just Steve Martin, the way he does a straight man, it's a goofy straight man, but
Right.
he's so goddamn talented when it comes to comedy that it's the perfect straight man.
Yes.
Like there's something, you watch some people that in comedy that do the straight man, and it's almost like they're doing a bit. Like his timing is just ridiculous, especially put on, opposite of Martin Short. It's just crazy. It was geniuses.
Yeah. I mean, just down to the facial expressions and the physical comedy. That's seamless, it looks like, for those guys. Yep.
Absolutely. All right, that was literally going to be my next one. So
Sure.
I pulled somebody off the bench there that would have been my number 6 if we were going. Okay. So I'm going to pull them up here. Let's go some females in this party here. Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
From not only just their the Saturday night live update, the weekend update desk, but like the shit they've written together, the movies they've written together, the TV shows they've written together, and again their chemistry on screen as well. But their writing is a lot of where I put them as a comedy duo.
Sure.
What they've accomplished, but again, you go back to Saturday Night Live. They were the first ones to do the 2-man anchors since it was Chevy Chase and Jane Curtin, and they knocked it out of the park. Their chemistry is just the back and forth on it. Them both playing the straight man, right? As that requires, but yeah, it's just they're, again, I know we're going to end up saying this a lot throughout this, but comedy genius.
Yeah, but they've hosted together like the Golden Globes and different award shows. Again, just great. I really miss seeing them on SNL for sure. Right. But yeah, no, it's good. Yep. Let's see here. Another kind of an older one here. It's maybe early 80s. These two guys started to get together and make a couple movies. Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, right? So close to happening in Blazing Saddles, where Richard Pryor he helped write that movie, and Gene Wilder, they did one of his best roles ever in movies. But then they went on to make a couple of movies together, notably Stir Crazy, where they were both arrested. They were accused of robbing a bank and both thrown in jail. Does that movie hold up necessarily?
That was Gene. One was blind, one was deaf, or
that was
something like that.
Hear No Evil or something like that.
Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Yeah, Richard Pryor was blind.
Yeah,
and Gene Wilder was deaf in that movie. That was also funny. So,
I loved that movie as a kid.
Yeah, and there weren't. Thinking back here now, there weren't a lot of duos where it was different races necessarily. So again, it just didn't happen, right?
Right.
Those two guys.
That's how society was.
One of the first that I could think of that were two comedic geniuses in their own right that got together and had success together. So, just funny stuff. But Stir Crazy as a kid was one of my favorite movies. Again, like I said, does it hold up? I don't know. Maybe not necessarily everything today, but still very, very funny. Those guys were just played off each other so well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So my next one from the 90s, we lost one of them a little too soon, quite too soon. Chris Farley and David Spade. Again, stemming back from Saturday Night Live. Then they started doing movies together. Tommy Boy to Black Sheep. I mean, Tommy Boy is definitely, even now, you don't even need more time. is a classic film. It is a comedic, comedy classic film for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
It still holds up to this day. Their chemistry, their back and forth, even if you watch like interviews or behind the scenes stuff, their chemistry just as friends is insane. Like, how ridiculous would it be to hang out with those two in real life?
Man.
Just so funny. Them back and forth. And they do what friends do. They were busting each other's balls like we do here. They're just super funny at it, and we're mediocre.
Right. Yeah. Very good. A newer one as well. They made a couple of movies together. One kind of a clunker, which I have not even seen yet because it had such terrible, horrible reviews. But the other one I have definitely seen several times in the Step Brothers versus the Sherlock Holmes movie. But Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Again, the fact that they did a couple things together, put them on my list here, but those two and Step Brothers.
Talladega Nights.
Yes, that's right. Talladega Nights.
Yep.
That's right. Again, both of them in their own right, just
when you put them together.
Yeah, almost trying to one-up each other, sort of, but just they're both so damn funny individually. And Step Brothers to this day is one of my favorite comedies. It's just so stupid and ridiculous, but heartwarming and everything else. But it's just fantastic, super quotable, and again the physical comedy, expressions, every scene together with them is just that. It's just fantastic. You couldn't make a movie like those. Probably Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, where the overall it's like it's a kind of a not the best script necessarily, but those guys took those goofy movies to a whole other level.
And if you would have replaced
comedy.
One of them, it might not have worked.
Nope, wouldn't have worked as much. You're right. There you go. That's my 5. Good.
All right, my number 5. We've gone back in time. We've gone current.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't gone reality.
Mm.
Let's go to a different universe, shall we? Let's go to the Muppet universe. Let's go Stadler and Waldorf, the two old men up in the seating, the balcony seating, watching the Muppet Show throughout the 70s and 80s and 90s, making fun of the Muppets any chance they got. The chemistry was off the chart. You could tell that they were friends outside of that show, and it really comes through. Yeah, whoever wrote for them and whoever did that it was just, I loved them as a kid, and I loved them as a duo. And when else am I going to be able to put Stadler and Waldorf on any list that we do? So I'm using it for my number 5.
I love it. That's great. You're right. Without them, the Muppet Show was not as funny. That's for sure.
Absolutely. You look forward to that cutaway.
Yes, that's right. The cutaway, the whole thing. And it's like I don't think as a kid I necessarily appreciated it as much, but as you get older, you appreciate that humor. And honestly, as an older person, that's your buddy.
You identify with them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your buddy. You guys are getting older. You've been friends for many, many years, and you enjoy still hanging out together, and you enjoy cutting on something
anything in
together.
Front of
you. Yeah. You strive for a friendship like that, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And eyebrows.
That's good. Sure. Absolutely. That's great.
Brian, do you have any honorable mentions?
I do. Do you want to go back and forth or rattle them off? How do you want to do this? We got time.
Yeah, we'll go back and forth then.
Back and forth?
Yeah, what the hell?
Or the female duo, fictional, but Penny Marshall and Cindy is Laverne and Shirley on the Laverne and Shirley show. Again, great show. On for many years.
Masturbated Incorporated.
That's right.
I think I
And
don't know if that's the words.
That's close.
Close enough.
Had the glove on the bottle and everything.
Right.
You know?
I thought that's what the Masturbated Incorporated was.
Mhm.
The handle going by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a great show on several years, and those two again, the characters, the actresses played so well together on that show. So couldn't have one without the other. Wouldn't have been
Starting
as
off
funny at all.
on Happy Days as just bit parts.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with, which I'm surprised it wasn't on either of our main lists, but you can't do an honorable mention without doing the comedy styles of Martin and Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis on stage, they did movies together, but they did a lot of stage events. The partnership and friendship did not end well, but when they were magic. So
they definitely elevated each other's careers. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I know them. I've heard bits of them. I'm just not as familiar with all the work, so that's why I didn't have it on my list personally. But they're definitely famous comedy duo. Yeah.
I was never the biggest fan of Jerry Lewis and his comedy, but when he gets with Dean Martin, when they do their shtick together, it's funny as shit.
Yeah.
So you need that. To me, Jerry Lewis needed Dean Martin.
I agree with you. Dean Martin would have had a successful career anyway with the singing and variety show and everything else. So you're right.
Absolutely.
Yep. I'm going to give you a local one. A local one as a kid growing up in the 70s, right? So to stay up on a Friday night and watch these two gentlemen out of Cleveland, Ohio. If you could watch the entire movie and their comedy skits in between, that was just a huge, and that was so late at night, it seemed like the time, and to stay up late and watch the entire B movie hosted by these two gentlemen was just an exciting thing on a sleepover or something like that. Big Chuck and Lil Jon. If you're in this area in Northeast Ohio, you know exactly who those two gentlemen are. They're definitely famous in this area. And there's just two guys, local guys on a local television show out of Cleveland that hosted B movies. So they would host it. They had those skits in between. It was Houlihan and Big Chuck originally.
So
and then Big
many.
Chuck and Lil Jon. Yeah, go ahead.
I've stolen so many of those. Not stolen, but I've told, when you're sitting around telling jokes to people, I've told jokes that I saw as skits on Big Chuck and Little John growing up. I would see the skits and just tell it as a joke. In joke, with your buddies sitting around telling joke form.
Yep.
And I'm not giving credit. Nobody takes credit for jokes, like, hey, guy walks into a whatever. Because those jokes are just around, right? They're just they're passed down from generation to generation. And that's what I did. With Big Chuck and Little John, Ben Frazee, a lot of those skits.
Yeah, and Chuck was he himself was Polish, and he didn't hide that fact. So they had the certain ethnic jokes then where he played clearly like a parody of a Polish guy, and there was a lot of skits there, not making fun of Polish people. It was just funny. It just was great. It's a different time.
Did you meet him?
It's just hilarious. I never met him.
I met both of them.
Okay.
Broadcasting school.
You know what? I will say I did meet. I shook the hand of Lil Jon on the streets of Cleveland once.
Oh, well, see that's even better.
Yeah.
Like we were both doing an event at the same time, so I got to meet him. That's cool to just meet him in the wild. That's even better.
Real quick story, right? So I was working in downtown Cleveland on East 9th Street. East 9th Street's the main street in Cleveland. It's the same street that has Progressive Field, where now the Guardians play, but then the Cleveland Indians play. Yeah, and if you follow East 9th all the way down, you'll run into Cleveland Browns Stadium. So it's like one of the main streets in downtown Cleveland. I worked there for a few years, right? I worked at a bank in a call center. We had to fire a lady, okay, because she was manipulating. She wasn't. Essentially was stealing from the company. Okay, basically, right. So we had to fire this lady, and my assistant manager at the time, Terry, if you, I don't know if you have any listening, Terry, I love you. If you happen to be listening to this, and this woman was crying, please, please don't fire me. She had like an accent too, like a I think it was a Russian accent or something. Please don't fire me. And I'm like, let's just get this over with and get her out of this building. She had her box, the whole thing. And Terry's like, well, where are you parked at? She was like, up the street. And Terry's like, we'll help you carry the boxes. I'm like, ah. So we're walking up the streets of Cleveland with these boxes for this woman, and she's crying the whole time. Teddy, please, Teddy, please, Teddy. Like begging, don't fire me, Teddy. Teddy. It's a horrible procession.
Sure, sounds
on
awful.
East 90th Street. I look up, and coming down toward us, wearing a suit, like a 3-piece suit, smiling, happy as could be, strutting, was Lil Jon walking down the streets of Cleveland. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, Terry's ahead of me up here. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, it's Lil Jon. We had this terrible, horrible experience. I hope he doesn't say anything yep, sure enough, Lil Jon walks by. Terry's like, sir, hi, how are you?
While this woman's crying, you
He's in
guys
the middle
stop to introduce yourselves to Little John. That's and she's like, wait a minute, the fuck? I'm trying to manipulate you guys. The fuck?
That's exactly what happened. He was ahead of me. Woman's in front of me. We're both carrying this woman's boxes. And Terry's like, sir, it sets the bucket box down, shakes Little John's hand. You know what? Then I think about it. I don't know that I shook his hand. I maybe in my head I did. But I definitely said hello to him.
Yeah.
And he just walks by smiling away, just happy. I'm just like, in my head,
has
like,
no
wow.
clue that this woman he just walked by shook hands and said hello with the two gentlemen who were responsible for giving her the worst day of her life.
That's right. But I saw him on the streets. It was super exciting at the time, but couldn't thoroughly enjoy it because we had to fire somebody who was cheating.
How dare her?
Stealing money from the company, basically. Right. So there you have it. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. My next one in audible mentions, Penn and Teller.
Yes. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I mean, magicians / comedians.
Sure.
I just recently, and I guess he just started doing like different things, but just heard Teller speak. In the last few years, he started doing different things and kind of came out of the character of the silent assistant. That again is that whole Marx Brothers thing. Harpo Marx. He had the horn. That's how he communicated. And there's a lot of old school vaudevillian style to their bit and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I love the magic. I love the comedy. They were very funny together. Again, I'm partial to Teller because I love the whole old school aspect of his style. So Penn and Teller.
Yeah, a super good act. I mean, those guys, it was a unique act, and they were fucking good. They are good music.
Yeah, absolutely. Great magicians.
Yeah. I mean, I don't recall seeing any other duo magician act
that
I could think of, let alone a comedy act. Those guys developed such a very unique act that people remembered and talked about, and they had some success. Absolutely, they're probably still doing it, right?
Sure.
I'm imagining.
Yeah, in Vegas. Yeah, I think they have their own place or whatever.
That'd be an act I would, if I was out there and had an opportunity to see it, I would definitely see them for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I had. Let's see here. From Schitt's Creek alone, I'm going to give you. I don't know if it's a duo or not, but they work so well together. I'm going to give it to you anyway. Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, from all the years on SCTV or SCTV, right? And then certainly Schitt's Creek together.
Yep.
As that married couple, those two together, just fantastic.
Absolutely.
Fantastic together. So it was very clear on the you get to Schitt's Creek. Some people may not even know that they were on the SCTV. With those guys got their start there. John Candy, Martin Short, for that matter, and some others. Second City Television, others were there as well. That they went on to have very successful comedy careers in their own right. So those two, again, just so good together.
They're the type of comedic couple duo that you might see out in the streets, and you see one of them with their actual spouse and go, wait a minute.
Surprised.
Yeah, you have to stop and go, oh yeah, I guess they're not actually married.
You're right. That's talent to pull that off. Is the realism, the believability that they're in love like that, even though it's comedy, but still, they definitely.
I get stopped on the street all the time and asked, like, "Where's Nick and Brian?" Well, we don't spend like all the time together.
That's right. And I
haven't seen Nick in person in years.
That's right. Yep. We were stopped at a beer tasting event and asked that very question.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you got misconception. I have got Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter.
Good. Yeah.
All throughout the late night shows, the variations that they've done, their timing together, I loved them. I grew up on Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter. When Andy left, a part of that show to me died a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Conan holds his own, but there was something about that duo that was special.
Yes. Yeah, you think of all the late night pairings, not couples, but pairings, and they were good. They worked. They worked for Johnny and Ed and David and David Letterman and Paul Schaefer. They definitely had a good banter, back and forth.
But those two were a duo,
right? It was David Letterman and Paul Schaefer was talking. Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. It was just a comfort and a buffer, if you will. But you're right; those two were equally funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Do you have more?
Let's see here. I've got. I had an overlap with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. How about we talked about last week on our favorite black and white shows episode?
Mm-hmm.
One of the shows that made our list. Lucille Ball and Vivian Vance. How about that?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Those two ladies on that
Any sort of trouble that they got into was together on the show. And the timing and chemistry. Yeah, that's a good
Lucy
one.
and Ethel, right? Was it Ethel was the character name?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just fantastic. Yeah, Lucy was always the star, but Vivian Vance definitely knew her role on that. And again, played it so well.
To the T.
Absolutely. Anything else you got?
I had Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, Cheech and Chong. Here's one. I don't know what sort of fan you were, but as a kid, I loved them. Do the names Johnny Brennan and Kamal Ahmed ring a bell?
Was that Harold and Kumar?
Nope. Those were the Jerky Boys.
Oh, Jesus.
The Jerky Boys did, if you're from the 90s, they did the prank call cassette tapes that you could get in DVDs later.
Yeah.
But they would make actual prank calls and record them. Those two were so goddamn funny. They ended up doing the movies and stuff that, that bombed and kind of jumped the shark and whatever. But those first couple CDs of them doing prank calls were insane.
Yep.
As a teenager in the 90s, you couldn't beat it. So yeah, to me, the Jerky Boys it made my honorable mention list. And then my last honorable mention, Tenacious D.
Yes. Yeah. Jack Black. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, those two are still just as funny together as anything. Again, it's one of those where sometimes to be Jack Black is a little much. But when you put those two together, it works. They complement each other quite well.
Very good. I had to throw Lower and Hardy on my
Sure.
honorable mention just because of a classic thing. I don't know a lot of their work.
Yep.
but
I
certainly
didn't put
from
them because I thought that you might.
Yeah. And I don't know, but I just thought, again, another couple that worked so well on the show, Jerry Seinfeld and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Again, that was sort of a foursome there. I don't know if you really count that as a comedy duo type of thing, but just
You
from the
might
fact that those
even
two,
argue that it was George and Jerry.
that's a good
Depending
one
on
too.
the scene, depending on the
Yeah.
scene, depending on the situation.
Yeah, that was probably more of a comedy, again, foursome type of thing, but I don't know. All right, good.
Yeah.
So we talked about a couple of things. We've maybe answered the question a little bit already, but what are the qualities, what are the elements of a good comedy duo, Dean? What do you think?
Chemistry. There's some of these that in real life probably aren't the best of friends, but their chemistry on stage, timing is a huge part. I think timing is up in the top 3 ideas of what makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Both have to have that. Both of them have to have everything that I'm describing individually, and it almost comes in like a Voltron situation where they together form this mega comedy thing. Yeah, so comedy, it's the timing and the chemistry is what you need.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think part of it too is each person knows his or her role in the duo and thoroughly embraces it and is not trying to change that role. If the one person is the funny one,
right,
and you're more the straight person, you allow that to happen because you realize that together it works so well. You're not trying to one up the other one. It just that's what works.
You know how to.
Go ahead.
Well, it's almost sometimes harder probably for the straight man, given that you have to have the timing and the wherewithal to set up the joke.
Right.
Because especially if you're doing improv, and again, what do I know from anything, but just from what I witnessed, you have to, in improv, you have to like do this, like you're setting it up. Like you know how good your partner is, so you know what to say because you're almost the writer in that sense. Because you have to set up the straight man line to get him to go there. You know what I mean? You're coaxing or directing as a straight man.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, and then some of these guys are comedic talents in their own right. They're powerful enough to be the comedic actor, but they are fine in that role with another person to be the other, to be more the straight person or something like that. Again, they like a Steve Martin is a guy like that. It strikes me. He's certainly powerful enough. He could be the funny, and he has. He's been in movies. He has been the comedic person, like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and a few other things he's been in where he's the funny one and others are the straight people, the jerk, sure. But he understands in that role with Martin Short, Martin is the goofy, funny one, and he could be humorous in his own way. So, yeah, all very good points. Yep. All right. Well, another duo out there, Dean, that supports each other and understands his own role in the business and it creates success together are our friends at Golden Heart Tattoo.
Scott and Greg.
That's right, Scott and Greg. Scott's more the goofy one there, I think, and he's okay with that, I think.
Sure,
you know? And that's fine. But if you want to watch some, speaking of comedies, you want to watch some very strange, movies and comedic movies and so forth, to get yourself a wonderful tattoo, go check our partners, our friends out at Golden Heart Tattoo. Find them at Golden Heart Norton on Facebook and ORTON, or just give them a call at 234-706-2982 and tell them you would like a tattoo watching an Abbott and Costello movie or something like that.
That's
I'm sure
good.
they
I
would.
like that one.
Yeah, they would be just fine to accommodate your ask.
Definitely.
All right. Well, Dean, like every comedy, every good comedy, it does come to an end. And as has our episode 191, sir.
191. Creeping
That's
on
right.
200.
Sure is. And we'll talk more about that, by the way. So if you happen to be in the Northeast Ohio area, you may have an opportunity to come out and see us for episode 200. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, it's going to be a whole thing. So probably we think now we're working on this here, but there may or may not be a parade.
Maybe
in downtown Barberton, Ohio. Could be. We're really pushing to have like some type of a float type situation, and or key to the city type thing.
There's definitely going to be like a Tijuana donkey show.
Sure.
That I already have that set up.
Mm-hmm.
Nick
Very
has
good.
I already got Nick the donkey costume and everything, so
Good.
It's going to be fun.
Excellent. Yeah. So we'll tell you more details as we get closer to that monumental accomplishment. Yep. So, as a reminder, again, you might be listening to us, we're listening to podcasts. Check us out all major podcast platforms. Give us a follow, share, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Find us on our Linktree page, Linktree Convincing Idiots website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com, YouTube at Convincing Idiots. Just tell a friend. We appreciate it. And have we convinced you that we are one of the greatest comedy duos in the top 5 million podcasts of all time?
If not, definitely the trio.
Hey, did you like that video? You know you did, and we know you did. So stop screwing around and go like that video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for some more.
Ham gravy.
Some pop culture headlines and our Ask an Idiot segment after the break.
After the break.
That's right.
All right.
What's going on with the cat?
Something up to get outside of it while we were doing that. Then he brought the millipede thing in. Oh, it's